Hello there, my name is Enock. Taking care of your health should be a top priority. Looking at the various engagements that we have today, it is so easy to forget about our health, mental well-being. That is why we introduce to you the Healthy You Talk Show, a brand new show that is going to address matters concerning your health, nutrition, stress management, mental health, name it. We bring to you a wide range of experts who are going to be touching pertinent issues concerning our health. Tune in every Tuesday at 10 a.m. live on Faith Today TV.
Mountain Moving Faith. This is my latest book. And if you want to learn how you can move mountains, life has many mountains. While this journey, you will encounter mountains and you wonder, how can I move mountains? This is a book to read. And it took me time to research, to pray, and to wait on God and look at the scriptures and what Jesus talked about moving mountains. And this book is quite a story, it's quite an inspiration. It is quite something that will change your life. So order your copy today. We can send it to you wherever you are in this country. We will be able to send this book to you on Mountain Moving Faith. Call that number or send a message and our team will be able to ship it to you wherever you are. There's a book to read. You can also buy for your friend, for a family as a gift. And I have no doubt they will thank you and they will be always thankful for what you have done for them. So God bless you as you read this book, Mountain Moving Faith.
Hello there, welcome to the Healthy You program, your favorite health program on Faith Today television. My name is Enock Kitondekijja, a medical clinician and your host. And on this special day, as we recognize our older people, it's the International Elders Day, we want to bring to you a special program. And for those who are advancing in age, this is very, very important. You don't want to miss this. But before I get started, I want to recognize our sponsors for this program. That is JCK Hospital for you. You can find them in Roysambu, along Lumumba Drive, just next to Happy Life Children's Home. They are also in Juja Farm. Those of you who are in Juja, you know where Happy Life Children's School is. Just there, they are there. And for those of you who are in Mariaini, these people are as far in as Moranga. So you can find them there. And those of you in Mirema, something good is coming your way very soon. Now, today we are talking about something that is so close to my heart because so many people are really suffering and they are not, some are not even aware about it. Are you losing your memory? Are you forgetting so easily? Have you met people who tell you, I have a friend of mine, every time forgets his keys, forgets his keys. Every time he's asking me, where are we? Which place are we? What is the day today? Has it been a concern to you? Now, today we want to talk about the like and Alzheimer's, if that makes sense. It's something that is a challenge today. But we have an expert, and this one is coming from JCK Hospital. She's a clinical nutritionist, and she's going to be helping us unpack this vital topic today. But before, again, I invite her to take us to the next level. This is a time where you invite your neighbors, tell them, let's catch this, let's watch this, because we are promoting health. And for those of you who are having caregivers, tell them, call them, tell them to tune in because this is very important for them, good for our families too. And those of you who are following us on Facebook and YouTube, we celebrate you so much. you see that share button, please go forward and share this. Let it go viral. You don't know who you will serve when you share this information with. Remember, we are here to improve your health, to help you get better in all aspects of life. That is health for the body, mind, and soul. Thank you. Back to my guest. I am very excited. Esther, you're welcome. Kindly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you so much. So my name is Esther Mwangi, a clinical nutritionist working at JCK Hospital. Yes.
Welcome, Esther. You're so smart. Is that how you look when you are at JCK?
Yes, every day. It's just that now on a normal day I'll be in scrubs, so you'll not definitely see me in the home clothes. Because of course, for infection prevention, we have to make sure that we're in the right attire, so that as we take care of our patients. Wow,
it's very important. For me, it's not a normal day, you know.
Yes.
You know, that's why I'm like this. And you know, Esther, I've been with you for some time at JCK Hospital, see the services that you do. Our viewers want to know, what is your role at JCK Hospital?
Okay, like I've said, I'm a clinical nutritionist. Mainly, I normally see my patients. I'm normally mainly at the MCH, where I deal with children, young children, but of course with all people, where I'll assess them, make a diagnosis, and find a way to, and offer counseling and education in regards to nutrition, so that to better their health. My main aim here is to improve health and also to prevent any diseases that normally come along with the lifestyle that we live, based on the diet and whether we exercise, whether we hydrate enough. Yes. I
think that's very key when you talk about diet and nutrition.
Yes.
Not so many people in the health sector really prioritize them.
True.
And I'm interested, I'm a bit curious, why did you choose nutrition? People are doing medicine, some of us did clinical medicine. Why did you choose nutrition, and why did you choose to be so special?
Okay, the reason why I chose nutrition, ideally, like we always say, you'd rather choose having a good taking a good diet rather than having to take medication, and to be able to understand how the body functions and what it requires in regards to diet. It drew some interest to me. And ideally, it has helped me by far. Because like right now, in as much as fine, at one point, yes, we are social beings. We'll want maybe to have a slice of cake, some fries. I often find myself choosing healthy diet. And I would love to extend that to my clients so that to better their lives.
Wow, that's very important. Thank you so much. For our viewers who have just joined us, this is Faith Today at Television, and we have a clinical nutritionist who's going to help us unpack a very sensitive topic today, Alzheimer's. And to begin, let us address Alzheimer's. Give us an overview of Alzheimer's and how is it really connecting to memory loss and particularly our cognitive health.
Okay. So Alzheimer's is a brain disorder that causes progression in progressive degeneration of the brain cells that affects the memory, thinking, learning, and organization skills. It is majorly caused by abnormal deposition of protein, that is the amyloids and the tau. The amyloids, where when it increases in the brain, it causes plaques. And tau, whenever they twist in the brain, they causes what we call plaque. And this eventually causes the brain to shrink, and also the brain cells die. Hence, the memory loss, poor thinking, poor coordination. Now, to be able to identify the symptoms of a person with Alzheimer's, number one is poor short memory. You'll find these people, they might remember what happened a while back, but whatever they just did at that time, they normally forget easily. That is one sign of Alzheimer's. Number two is you'll find they keep telling you the same story over and over again.
They repeat the same
Yeah,
story.
they repeat the same story over and again. And many times, the reason why they do this is maybe to stay relevant. And also, since they're making people happy, they find the joy in having to repeat the same story over and over again. You'll find a change also in language, also change in behavior. You'll find even in change in personality, where if someone used to talk so much, they no longer talk so much. Yes.
Oh, that's a sign.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, it is.
I'm
But
following.
now, I will. Okay, I know some do happen to us who are young, but it's one of the signs. You'd not expect such to happen to the old. Ideally, even though you talk to your grandmother, you wouldn't expect them to have a sudden change, since this is somebody you are used to talking to. So yes, that is one sign. Yes. So now, to be able to identify whether this person have Alzheimer's, some of the ways of diagnosing is, number one is where the healthcare worker will want to interact with the family members or the caregivers to be able to know what are the changes that have happened in terms of how are they able to take their day-to-day daily activities, what kind of medications they take, because there are some health conditions that also affect Alzheimer's. Their behavioral change in the house, yes. The other thing is the healthcare worker will want to do some physical and neurological exam. Yeah. Now, in the management, let's
Before
remember.
you go into the management, and I
Yes.
love the way you have packed it for us.
Yes.
You're helping us now understand how to identify some of this strange behavior.
Yes, yes, yes.
For our viewer, I think they're interested in knowing what are those early signs. You know, there are these, you know, Esther, there are these classical ones that if someone sees this, you know, I need to probably come and see Esther at Jessica Hospital, or maybe this is not so serious. What are those classical key signs that someone can
Many times
look at?
it's poor memory.
Poor memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poor memory is the major one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they tend to forget a lot.
Forget a lot. For
Yes.
example, I gave you an example. There are people who have a challenge. They're always asking you, what's your name? You started the conversation.
Yeah.
Imagine me now here
Yes.
having our talk,
Yes.
and I'm asking, hey, what is your name? What did you say?
Yes.
What is, you know, it's a
Yes,
challenge.
yes.
You also find those who probably even the children have noticed this. You know, the dad or the mom is always going in the car and then he's
Yes.
forgetting the keys.
Yes, yes,
Someone
yes.
goes to the to work,
Yeah.
and then he remembers, I've forgotten my phone.
Yeah.
Could that be a sign?
Yes, it is. Also, you'll even find there are times where, even as they go to take a walk and they're going back home,
Yeah.
they even can forget their way back home.
People can forget their way
Yeah,
back
the
home.
elder, yes.
I
Those with Alzheimer's,
think
yes.
put a pin on that.
Yes.
Before we go any further, for our viewers, this is a very interesting conversation. If you are ever challenged by this, if you have noticed any of these symptoms or signs, and you're wondering what are the answers, you're having questions, you have noticed something strange, this is the time where you send in your question, interact with us, engage with us, because we have an expert here who is giving us a good background and taking us through step by step on how Alzheimer's presents, and then I'm sure it's also going to share with us the nutrition perspective of this, and then prevention. There's so much to share today, but whatever the question is, keep it coming through our Facebook, YouTube. We have a number that is on your screen. Please utilize it. Esther,
Yes.
you can take us forward.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, there are risk factors, of which number one is age, and that's why this is a disease that's normally associated so many times with the elder. And one thing maybe I forgot to mention is that when you find an older person forgetting things, some of these things, like like you just said, they keep asking you your name over and over again. You should not be quick to say that that's just age. No. That can be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Oh.
And once it's known early, we're able to prevent its progression, or rather slow its progression, so that to be able to have the nerves communicating well. And that brings me back to the point of management. Let's remember that Alzheimer's has no cure. And the medication that the doctor will prescribe, it will not reverse or stop the progression of Alzheimer's. What it does, it slows it and rather improve the communication of these nerves. Like I remember at the beginning, I just said there are these presence of abnormal proteins in the brain that form the amyloids. So you'll find some, they stop or slow, they stop the formation of the amyloids and improve the way the nerves communicate. So you'll find that the memory gets better. It might not necessarily go back to as it was, but it gets better, the thinking gets better. So number one is make sure you take the treatment provided.
Before you go to the treatment, I
Yeah.
am curious, Esther, where do these you talked about amyloid plaques and then those proteins.
Yeah.
Some people think protein is good. Where do these, colleagues who want to mess up with our nerves come from? Where do they even come from?
They're normally made in the brain, not necessarily from diet. Might affect it in a way, like, okay, those are not proteins that you'll get from the diet necessarily. They are the ones that are normally made in the brain.
These are abnormal proteins that come and evade your brain.
Yes. So I wouldn't really say there's a specific food that you take that will cause those proteins to go. No, they're normally made in the brain. Yes.
Okay.
So they're normally there, but now in a person with Alzheimer's, it's an abnormal. It's not the way they behave. It's abnormal. So that's why you'll find there is that effect of loss of memory. They take time to learn something. Yeah. Okay.
And then I agree with you, but then I want to also understand. You said, what are the causes? Like, where do they come from?
The causes. These are the proteins that are okay. The amyloid and the tau, they're normally present in the brain. It's just that now, like I've stated, it's abnormal.
It's abnormal.
For somebody with Alzheimer's, it's abnormal. They're normally there, but in Alzheimer's, it's abnormal. Yes. And that's why the amyloid causes the tangling. When they increase in the brain, they cause the tangling. And the tau, when they twist in the brain, they cause the plaques. This hinders the way the nerves work.
The nerves communicate, yeah,
yes.
You talked about that.
Yes.
So how do you medics get to see these plaques? I mean, if a normal person cannot see them, how do you people get to see that abnormality?
Many a times imaging, okay, it's not really reliable, but neuroimaging, and now, like what I just mentioned, a physical exam, you see how the muscles work, the coordination of the muscles, the neurological exam where you'll have the imaging in order to rule out any other disease. You know, cancer, brain cancer also affects the brain in a different way, which can alter our day-to-day lives.
Okay, and
so
you've talked about something key,
yes.
cancers, okay.
Yeah, so imaging will help, because you know what happens, and like I said, it shrinks the brain.
Oh, Alzheimer's shrinks the brain.
Yes, and you know when the brain shrinks, the cells die.
When the brain shrinks,
the cells die.
The cells die off.
Yes.
Communication is cut off.
Yes.
I get you.
Yes. So now ideally that is the cause of Alzheimer's.
How can I protect my brain? Because I'm wondering, that is something so vital and special. Yes, I know we have this young man here. Yeah, he helps us. Yes. But what do you think I can do to protect my brain? You know, we have the skull. It's very vital, protecting our brain. For me, what do I have to do to protect my brain?
Now, staying active.
Okay.
Ideally reading, playing board games like chess.
Board games?
Board games, yeah.
Okay.
Filling they're called what? These things that you fill in the Gazette.
Those puzzles,
yeah,
are they the puzzles?
Yes. You know, they keep your mind busy, thinking. Yes. So it is very essential to keep your mind active. Number 2, it's exercising.
Okay.
Yeah, I know people hardly nowadays exercise.
People hardly exercise.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
because you find even the jobs that we do, most people do the office work. So mainly they're at work, they hardly even get time to go exercise. No, exercising helps with the blood flow. And you know, when the blood flows well, it provides oxygen that helps in the functioning of the brain.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you have so much to talk about the management to help us understand that. I just wanted us not to miss. I know a comment will come through from our viewers.
Okay.
They want to understand at what age can someone begin thinking of Alzheimer's?
Mainly it's between 60 to 65. Though I've seen there are some who even get it as early as 58 years.
Wow, there are people who get it as early as 50.
Yeah.
So that is premature.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it's normally influenced so much by the kind of lifestyle we live. Yes, and that's why I'm very insisting on in keeping your mind active, exercising, having the right diet. When I talk about having the right diet, it's a diet that is low in saturated fats, like the animal fats. They're not so good. Taking the deep fried foods, taking these fast foods, you know, they don't have the good fats.
Fast foods, and I'm sure you're going to help us break them down.
Yes.
What are those fast foods?
Yes.
For our viewers, they want to know what are those fast foods, because normally people just label fast foods, but what are fast foods?
Very true. Yes.
Help us understand.
Okay, about the fast foods. Fast foods are foods that are normally high in fat, salt, and sugar.
Fat,
salt, and sugar. And mainly we call them the empty calories because they have no beneficial benefits in the body. Of which one of them is sodas. Sodas are very high in salt and sugar, which is not helpful to the body. And ideally, you normally predispose yourself to something like hypertension, the blood pressure, that is what we call the hypertension. And we have seen some relation between hypertension and Alzheimer's. So if you're able to manage your hypertension, you're also able to prevent yourselves from getting Alzheimer's. I'm not saying that everyone who has hypertension will get Alzheimer's, but there is some relation.
There is a relation.
Yes.
At least you iron out something for us.
Yes.
You talked about sugar.
Yeah.
There are people like me for now, you cannot easily take me out of sugar. Tell me about how should I take my sugar, and you know, what is the maximum, what is the limit, what is moderate, what is relative?
Wow, okay. Sugar. There is no specific amount I would really say you should take. Okay, when I talk of sugars, you know, taking things like sodas, the biscuits, they're not bad, fine. I'll not say sorry. They're not good. But then, we normally limit the amount of sugar that you're supposed to take.
So limiting?
Limiting. The word is limiting the amount that you're taking.
Okay.
There is no specific amount I'll say you should be taking, but limit the amount that you're taking. Yes.
Wow, it's interesting. Carry on.
So now, like we normally find, you can imagine if one biscuit provides so much kilocalories, then this kilocalories comes about with the amount of, in this biscuit there is sugar, there is flour, there is salt added, there is maybe some fat. That is too much. So meaning if you take like 3, 4, 5 pieces, that's a lot. That's too much. So maybe, I'm just giving an example, maybe 2 pieces is more than enough. But if you're able to avoid, the better. Yes.
The better.
Yeah.
I think that is very important. Someone made a statement and said, everything in moderation.
Yes, everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
Yes.
But I think there are people who do the extreme, who go the extra mile.
Yes, but
but
then if you're able to avoid, the better.
Yeah. If you're able to avoid, the better.
Yes, the better.
For our viewers, this is very interesting. Madam Esther here is helping us understand that the food we eat is also a factor that contributes to our memory loss. It also could go as far as helping the doctors pick Alzheimer's in us, and that is something that you don't want to see happen. She has also helped us understand that hypertension or high blood pressure, if you would, is some of the predisposers to this Alzheimer's. So if you're having a client or a relative, or if you yourself is probably undergoing this kind of treatment for high blood pressure, this is a time where you take it serious. You know, there are people who go for a holiday, drug holiday. They'll be like, I don't feel the pressure, I don't feel the headache ever again. I think I can. Let the doctors be the ones to help you make that decision. Yes, thank you so much. And this is a very interesting conversation. For those of you who have just joined us on Face Today Television, this program is sponsored by JCK Hospital. We are carrying on, and I am having an expert, a clinical nutritionist, who is going to help us understand the specifics, how we can be able to deal with some of these conditions, Alzheimer's that is carrying so many, and then get better, because we must enjoy life. Thank you. And Esther, back to you. Before we take a short break, someone wants to know the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia. How do those things relate?
Alzheimer's is a form of dementia.
Alzheimer's is a form of dementia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I'll not be able to explain much about dementia, but yes, Alzheimer's is a form of dementia, and it's the largest bit of a dementia.
That's the largest bit of dementia.
Yes.
What is dementia even? Is it because that is, I think, dementia is also brought about by even poor memory.
Memory is normally affected so much. You know, as a brain that's degenerating, the hippocampus, which is the one that is the one that regulates now the memory, is the one that's affected most.
The hippocampus, that's an organ in the brain here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember in practice they used to tell us there are two of them somewhere, one in the middle here.
Yes.
And the other somewhere where? On the other side.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is affected.
Yes. So where you find the memory, now degenerates, where, like I just said, poor short memory.
Poor short memory.
Yes.
It's very interesting. And Esther, I love this discussion because we are in a generation whereby you don't want to forget anything.
True.
Looking at the economy, things have not been so easy on so many people. So forgetting is something that you don't want to carry on. You want your brain to be sharp. For those of you who are just joining us, the second part where we are going to be understanding how can we be sharp, how can we revive our memories, how can we not suffer from shrinkage of the brain. That is where she will take us. But before we go in that direction, I wanted her to tell us some of the challenges that you guys face as nutritionists when you are handling such cases throughout the diagnosis, because I realize even the diagnostic process is not easy. Like, are there any challenges that you guys are facing, diagnosing this, managing this, or something like that?
Now, with diagnosis, mainly it's normally done by a specialist, who can be a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Oh, that is done by
a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Oh, a psychologist,
yes.
Okay.
And healthcare workers who are trained to specifically assist in such situations. Yeah. So mainly with us, we normally come in to manage. The diagnosis is done by a specialist, and we come in to manage, to assist these patients to make the better decisions in the kind of diet they provide to this client. So mainly, much of the challenges that healthcare workers might find is, once a patient is diagnosed, both the family member and the elderly, they take time to accept. They take time to believe. Yeah. Okay. Ideally, nobody wants to be. Of course, you didn't want to wake up one day and be told you have diabetes, and you start having to think you're not going to be taking sugar. You can imagine now you've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Yeah. Meaning now you have to be assisted in doing 1 to 3 things because the memory now is now affected, the learning is now affected. There's behavioral change where they're not even able to do their own basic needs. So acceptance takes time. It's a challenge. And it will derail the management. Okay. So once they're able to accept, management comes in. We're able to start treatment, we're able to manage diet-wise. Yes. And then, before you give us the detail, I want you to stop it at that.
so that our viewers can come in the second section, where I feel you're going to give us now more details and the specifics of how you go about all this.
Yeah.
Now, for our viewers, this is a very exciting discussion on Faith Today Television. Keep it right at Faith Today Television. As we come back, she's going to tell us the specifics of the management, the acceptance, all these challenges combined. And if you have a person taking care of any of your relative, you already received the news, the diagnosis from a healthy worker, you want to know, you want to guide them, how do they go about this? We have an expert in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it at Faith Day Television. Coming back in a short while. God bless you.
Okay, asante. Nilikisajili kitabu ambacho kinaitwa 7 Keys to Success, ama kuna kanuni funguo 7 if you like it, ambazo zitakuletea ushindi na kufaulu maishani. Wote, wewe na mimi, tunataka kufaulu, lakini pia kuna njia ya kufaulu. Ukisoma hiki kitabu ambacho nilikiandika kwa kufanya utafiti, kwa maombi mengi, kuangalia neno la Mungu, I have no doubt ya kwamba hiki kitabu kitabadilisha maisha yako. Nilikuwa naongea na mchungaji rafiki yangu akaniambia, nilisoma hicho kitabu, sasa ninafundisha watu wangu kupitia ujuzi, maarifa, hekima ambayo nilipata kwa hiki kitabu. Kwa hivyo unaweza pia nunulia watu wengine, na akaniambia alinunulia hata viongozi wake, na wamekuwa wakisoma, wakaweka kwa library yao wanasoma. Hiki kitabu sina mashaka, nina uhakika kitabadilisha maisha yako na utabarikiwa. Tuma message ama upige simu kwa hiyo namba, na naweza kuwasiliana na wewe na utapata hiki kitabu, utatumiwa, usome na ubariki pia watu wengine. Asante. Mungu akubariki unaposoma 7 Keys to Success, and you will succeed. Thank you.
Hello there, my name is Enock. Taking care of your health should be a top priority. Looking at the various engagements that we have today, it is so easy to forget about our health, mental well-being. That is why we introduce to you the Healthy You Talk Show, a brand new show that is going to address matters concerning your health, nutrition, stress management, mental health, name it. We bring to you a wide range of experts who are going to be touching pertinent issues concerning our health. Tune in every Tuesday at 10 a.m. live on Faith Today TV. Hello there, welcome once again to Faith Today Television. Hello there, welcome once again. This is Faith Today Television, and today is a special day on our Healthy You program. We are hosting one of the experts at JCK Hospital, that is Esther, for you, and she's giving us so much information about Alzheimer's. And for those of you who have been with us in the first session, you realize it's a challenging disease, you know, not only for you who are taking care of the people who have been diagnosed, but also to the healthy providers. Yeah, it's a challenge, and we get to know that this is not just a one-man show. We see nutritionists in play, we'll see psychologists in play, psychiatrists in play, and now we want to understand our role. This second part is really going to focus on me and you. What is our role? There are people who have been already diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Some of you are already taking care of these patients who are suffering from Alzheimer's. Are we going to run away from this? No, we have to face it. And to face it, we are with you. We have an expert tonight. Now, keep your questions coming. This is a very interesting show. And those of you who have not yet shared this, this is a time where you click that share button let this message go viral. Let it go and reach very many people who look depressed, who might be, confused about this, and yet probably we have answers for them. Thank you so much. And our viewers are already responding. Thank you so much. We are getting reports and questions from Facebook. Just one question before we carry on with our business.
Okay.
Esther, someone is saying, so many questions are coming in. I don't know who will be lucky to get an answer from our expert today, but keep them coming. The earlier the better. Esther says, someone says, hi, I've been taking care of my husband who has Alzheimer's. I feel quite depressed. Should I see a doctor about my depression, or it will pass? Should I repeat? It's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay.
Now, depression is not one thing that you can really say that you'll just say and it will pass. And that's why this is it's not only a challenge of the elderly, of the person who's suffering, but also of the caregivers. And at this point, I would encourage you to go and see a doctor for assistance, or even maybe a change of care. I'm not saying you alienate your husband or stay away from your husband, no. Just take time for yourself also to be able to relax and also get back to your normal self. And through this is also by seeing a doctor would be a wise decision to do. This will be able to help you to process it and to be able to know how to better manage your husband without having to feel overburdened. Yeah. So please go ahead, go see a doctor. Yes.
Wow. It is getting serious, friends, because we thought that we were just managing the patients who are suffering from Alzheimer's, but a client, one of our viewers is asking, he's concerned because they are getting depressed about this, and it is very interesting. The discussion is getting serious. Someone is managing and then they're getting depression along with, which is something you don't want to, entertain. So for our viewers, you get to know that having these health workers help you throughout the process is very vital, very important. Thank you so much. I think that's a good answer. Yeah, that's a good answer. We have another question here coming through, but before I forget, you talked about the challenge that you guys are facing.
Yes.
Acceptance.
Yes.
And I think that is, it's a mutual experience with the caregivers.
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
We normally give them time and work with them. The idea is, as a psychologist, psychiatrists and psychologists, they are well versed in to be able to help these patients to be able to understand what is really happening. And it's not fine. Some of these diseases do cause death, but it's not a death sentence.
Alzheimer's is not a death sentence.
Yeah.
Good.
And the earlier it's captured, people have lived even over 20 years with them. I know mainly when it's discovered late, the life expectancy is normally a bit low. But once it's discovered early and management is started as early as possible, we're able to slow it. And this person is able to live for a longer time. So the psychologist or psychiatrist tends to work with the caregiver plus the elderly until they're able to accept and to be able to start the management. Yeah.
Wow, this is very interesting. For our viewers, you now get to know that early diagnosis is very key. Early detection is very key. The earlier you get to know about this, the earlier you're going to address it and probably have a good outcome. Madam Esther here is telling us that you guys, Alzheimer's is not a death sentence, and it should not be. It should not be. I know so many people have been discouraged about this, but we have probable solutions to all this. And let me go to the next question, because I feel they may strangle me if I don't voice out. Fine. We have someone says, good morning, I'm Carol. Should I take my sick mom to a nursing home to be monitored and cared for? Please advise.
Now, that is still an option. Many times, whenever, I know in the current society we live in, when you take your mother or your father or the elderly to a nursing home, it seems like you're departing them or you don't have need for them. No, it is not normally the case. Like the question you just asked earlier on, having your mother in a nursing home will be able to help to be able to manage this patient better, because she'll be around healthcare workers who are well versed in managing the Alzheimer's disease. That does not mean that she also cannot do the same, no. But it helps to even ease on the pressures of this. You can imagine with the current society that we are living in, many pressures taking place. So it helps in better management of the mother.
Yeah, and also reducing the burden.
Yeah, reducing the burden, yes.
Yeah.
But, well, I'm not saying that you cannot take care of your mother, but it's a good option to also take your mother to a nursing home. Yes, it is. Yes. So it avoids the cases of having even the depression. Yeah.
And I agree with you. Speaking of nursing homes, I think we need people to understand that this is not that you are detaching entirely from your family or people or whatever. Yes. I think there are people who are trained in that.
Yes, they are.
People need to, be comfortable, understanding. And this is a call, of course, to our health providers. If you can have a section of training these health workers, giving a training to probably even the caregivers, they need to know how to take care of this. And I think it's also a business venture. We see very many people going abroad doing this, meaning the people in those countries, Western countries, they know how serious it is, and they are willing to pay the price just to make sure that our, elderly people, our parents get the best care. Yeah. Very interesting, Esther. Yes. And then those of you who are just joining us, it's as if we're just getting started. Sending your questions, don't you mind at what level I will ask it, but the earlier, the better. Carol, take your mother to a nursing home. I need to know what the best options are for long-distance families dealing with Alzheimer's. Someone is asking, I need to know what the best options are for long-distance families dealing with Alzheimer's.
Like the previous question.
Yeah.
There is no harm in taking the elderly to a nursing home, and planning on ways to go and visit them so that as to keep in touch. So I would encourage, take them to a home where you feel they'll be able to get the best care. It will be very essential for them because their medication will be followed. You'll find they'll also have other people to be able to stay active, like play board games. I know you've seen, especially in movies, where people, the old people, sit down and play board games. They can answer the password, what did you just call it?
Yeah, the crosswords,
Yes, the crosswords. Yeah. It helps to keep their mind active. In a nursing home also there is the physiotherapy that takes place, helps to keep the body active. Helping in the exercising, to help in the flow of the blood. Yeah, so there is no shame and harm in taking your parents to a nursing home. Please do. It will be best to ensure that they get the best care. Of course, there is nothing much. If you're staying far away and there is a way of assisting them, please do. Take them to a home where they'll be able to get the best care.
Best care.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I think now you are really emphasizing that people need to appreciate the nursing care service providers.
Yes.
Wow, this is good.
Or then, on the other hand, nowadays they're also, if you don't really have to take them to a nursing home care. There are healthcare workers who do the door-to-door care. You can also have a nurse who is well-versed in managing such patients, and at a small fee. At least to, because on the other hand, we have talked about loss of memory. It's also good to have to maintain the environment for the familiarity of these patients. So you can decide, instead of taking to the nursing home, also have a healthcare worker who can come, help you, assist you in taking care of this patient. Number one, they'll make sure they take their treatment on time. There are also some who are trained to help in finding ways of exercising, and ideally having someone staying with them, it's also good for them. It helps them in even keeping in touch, talking, keeps the mind jogging. Yes, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a nursing home. You can also decide to have a healthcare worker to come and take care of your parent or the elderly at home. Yeah.
Wow, I feel like Madam Esther is giving us too much quality information today just to allay the anxiety. I know that those of you who could be worried about sending your parent or relative to a nursing home, but she has helped us understand that these people have trained nurses, who can come at your home, and offer the service, and then they go away. That is also another option, and I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I hope JCK Hospital has such services,
Yes, we do.
because I believe people can benefit from them. Awesome. The next question. My dad has become withdrawn. We answered that.
Sorry?
Not yet.
No.
My dad has become withdrawn. He is avoiding some of my siblings. What should we do?
Those are the behavioral changes that we normally see with Alzheimer's. The question is your dad on treatment? Is your dad on follow-up? I guess the thing is to be able to understand and appreciate that these are things that are to happen with Alzheimer's. So the best thing would be, instead of feeling like this person is not interested in them, it's a sign that normally takes place with Alzheimer's. Because like we just said, the brain is shrinking, the cells are dying. And as much as you're having this medication, it doesn't mean that it will stop. It will still continue. It's just that the pace is little by little. But now the thing is just to appreciate and let him know that you're always there. It would be best also to interact with the healthcare worker to be able to assist even in the management and to be able to know how to go about it. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Madam Esther here. And then my favorite viewer there. This is a good question, and I feel like you've gotten a good answer from Madam Esther. This is the time for you now to begin the management process. Come to these healthy providers, and then let them initiate you and get you the help that your dad needs and your entire family. Another question comes in from Collins in Keno. How are the people in Keno? Send our regards to them. Keno is saying, is Alzheimer's hereditary?
Yeah, like okay. I wouldn't really say it's hereditary. No, it's not hereditary. No, it is not hereditary. It is. I know we normally say it's a disease of the aged, which ideally it's one of the risk factors. Age, traumatic. Somebody who has had a risk factor of traumatic head injury. So hereditary, I don't really think it's a risk factor of getting the Alzheimer's. No, it's not.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I think for our viewers, Collins, you get the answer. It is not hereditary. You don't have to worry about this, but you have to be just cautious to know. She talked about earlier age, for the aging. She also talked about the aspect. Did you talk about genetic or predisposition or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, some people could be, genetically predisposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as you can see, the earlier you've told us better, the earlier you spot this,
yes,
the better.
Yes.
All right. So, and as the disease progresses, will my mom suffer? Someone is asking. As the disease progresses, will my mom suffer? I think this is someone who is already taking care of someone who has Alzheimer's. So,
what I've seen mainly, the people who tend to suffer most are the people who take care of the person with Alzheimer's. Because, with the brain changes, there's nothing much this person can do. There is no pain really, but the people who are most affected are the people who are taking care of the person with Alzheimer's. So no, there will be no, your mother will not suffer, no. With the right management, no, your mother will not suffer.
All right. You get the answer. With the right management, with the right approach, your mother will not suffer. Questions are really many, meaning people are getting value from this. Another one is asking, I'm Kim. I always forget where I leave my keys. Does this mean I have dementia?
No. Like I said, the number one risk factor is age. Yes. No, it is not. It is not. It is not. It doesn't mean that you have dementia. No, 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 no. Forgetting doesn't mean you have dementia. Yes, and it has to be something that's repetitive. You often find, I'm sure you've seen someone, especially when you sit with the old, when you talk about memory loss, when you sit with the old, they'll have told you, they'll ask you your name, what is your name? They'll keep asking you that over and over and over again. That is what we mean. And mainly it's related to the aged. Yes. Not, it doesn't mean that the fact that you're forgetting where you keep your keys, you have dementia. No, no, no. Not unless you're in that age bracket. And you have noticed, you know, you have to look at not more than one sign, not only memory loss. Yes.
Wow, this is very interesting. Kim, I hope you have received your answer. This is very exciting. Do not label yourself demented. It is important that you visit these people. Yes. Let them help you understand, because you've probably, you are stressed and you've forgotten things.
Very true, very true. Yes.
So do not conclude. We are not here to make any conclusions whatsoever, and that's a disclaimer. We are just here to share ideas. And then at my age, younger age, what can I do to prevent getting Alzheimer's? Noah in Rosters. Wow, thank you, Noah.
That is a good question.
Yes.
Now, it brings me back to the management. Number one, like I mentioned, staying active. Reading, keep your mind jogged, like reading, playing some beneficial games like chessboard. Number two is exercising. Exercising helps with the good flow of the blood to the brain. Number three, that I did not mention, is diet.
Diet.
Having the right diet. Having the right diet. So when you talk about diet, it means making sure you prioritizing having whole grain, fruits and vegetables in your diet, nuts, nuts and seeds that provide the good fats, limiting the amount of red meat that you take, limiting the amount of salt that you take.
What do you mean by red meat? Red meat, my dear. You want us not to enjoy meat anymore?
No, I did not say avoid. I said limit. You know, there are so many sources of protein. That's
so I should not avoid, but limit.
Yes, yes. It should not be the only protein source of protein. We have fish. Fish provide the omega-3, which is good in, it's an antioxidant and an anti-inflammatory.
Antioxidant meaning it fights something?
Yes,
what does
it improves on the immune system of the...
It also improves on the immune system. Okay.
Yes. So we have fish, we have poultry, which are good sources of protein. And also the beans, the lentils. The idea here is to have a variety of different foods. You know, the downside about red meat, it has some purines that are not so good in the meat, but then doesn't mean that you should not take it, because meat is a good source of iron. Iron is essential in the formation of blood, and this blood is the one that will assist that flows through our veins, that helps in transporting this oxygen to the brain.
And I think you ladies, you need it more than even us men.
Yeah, yes, because of the...
So why do you want me to reduce my meat? I need to eat the red meat.
I'm not saying you avoid, I've said limit.
I take meat like 4 times in a week. Yes.
Having a variety. Having a variety. It should not
just
be red meat. Not only red meat.
Okay.
We have chicken, we have fish, we have beans. They all play a role in the body.
So that is just one side of the protein part.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So take us through the plate. How should the plate be apportioned for me to fight this disease, Alzheimer's?
Yes. Prioritizing having more vegetables in your diet is good. Instead of having the refined carbohydrates, prefer having the whole, like the brown rice, the brown ugali, or the number 2. Ugali, the maize that has not been removed anything. I'm not saying that you can't take the rest, but if you're able to have the whole grain, the whole grain is rich in B vitamins that are essential for the body. Now, like also the protein that I've insisted, where Enock is trying to to fight me on having the red meat in the plate. Yes, we can have the red meat, but limit the amount that you're taking, not too much. Ideally, we normally say around 5 to 6 pieces of red meat per serving, having a variety, including the fish because it has the omegas and it is rich in vitamin E that is essential in boosting the immunity also. Yes, the poultry also is also good.
Poultry meaning chicken?
Chicken, yeah.
But that is relative because people have issues now with the chicken today.
Why?
Someone buys the chicken and in 2 weeks they're selling to you chicken. Couldn't that have an impact on my health in another way? Be honest.
But in all honesty, having to look at the Kenyan market right now, there is so much that is happening. If you're able to know where you're getting your meals from, it would be best. Or if you're able to, like the elderly, because many a times most of the elderly are not in the city, they are in the village. So they're able to have their own. If you're able to have your own, like buy your own chicken and dry your own chicken, have your own shamba where you farm your meals, it would be better. But I'm not saying you can't buy. If you're able to identify someone who farms in the right way, not putting your life at risk, it would be preferred. I know with the current day and setting, it's a bit hard to be able to identify who is who, especially the fact that we live in the city. So the best thing would be, it shouldn't, and that's why it comes in, that's why I'm saying it shouldn't be the only meal that you're taking.
And I think you have now talked about the gist of the matter, and that's why we're here. The conundrum we find ourselves in, that nutritionists tell us, eat this, eat that, and before you know it, you get an effect from it. So help us understand, if I cannot access these foods, are there any alternatives or supplements? What is their role in this?
I would not encourage replacing diet with supplements. Supplements are good. Yes, I do not disagree they are good. But I would not replace diet with supplements. Because at the end of the day, like chicken, it's not only a source of protein, it also has the micronutrients, the vitamin E, the selenium, the iron that helps in the formation of the blood. So having still taking these meals is very essential. I'm not saying that it's not good to take the supplements. Supplements are good. For instance, the omega-3, yes, it's very good in the brain formation, yes. Okay. And also in boosting the immunity. We have the vitamin E, the vitamin A, the vitamin C, of which all these you can get them in the diet. It's just that now when you take it in a supplement, they're more in a concentrated form, unlike taking them in a diet, where you'll have to take a certain amount to be able to achieve whatever the supplement will provide. So having a variety of all these different foods, inclusive of the supplements, only if prescribed by a dietitian or a doctor.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. A doctor has something to play in this. And for our viewers, this is very exciting. I know we can talk about this on and on and on. Nutrition is a very wide topic. And to help us unpack this again, it is Esther Mwangi from JCK Hospital. It's such an exciting time to have you. As we conclude, Esther, you guys are running the You First campaign.
Yes.
Tell us about the You First campaign. What is it?
Now, the You First campaign is client-centered. Is where to let people know that you are our bosses, and our aim here is to make sure that we provide the best treatment, the best care, comfort, especially if we are in the inpatient, to make sure that you are comfortable receiving everything that is needed. So our aim here is to make sure that you get the best care and you are comfortable at all times. So you are all welcome at JCK Hospital. It should be a hospital of choice. We value our patients very much. And our aim is to see you get better. Our aim is not only to give you medication, but also to find preventative ways in order to avoid these frequent hospital visits. And you are all welcome at JCK Hospital.
Wow. Thank you so much. That is Esther for you from JCK Hospital with such a myriad of tips, information, insights for us to learn on how to prevent Alzheimer's. We've learned that early detection is key. We've learned that it's very proper for you to access the healthy service providers to help you throughout this process. They have helped us understand that it can be prevented. It's not a death sentence. There's so much to this, and thank you so much, JCK Hospital. Once again, this is the Healthy You program on Faith Today Television. Until we meet next time, stay healthy, stay informed, and be safe. May God bless you, and catch you next time.